In 2003, two women, Rebecca Loos and Sarah Marbeck, came forward and said that affairs with David Beckham. 20 years later, the allegations came to light again in the former footballer's docuseries, Beckham. In the doc, his wife Victoria admits she resented her husband, but does not reference the women by name, though headlines from the period are flashed on screen. But one of the women, Rebecca Loos, has now been flooded with cruel messages from online trolls. And more recently, Rebecca has shared a cryptic response in the wake of the Beckham documentary. In this video, we'll take a look at everything that's happening in their crazy marriage, the truth of the rumors, and how it changed their family forever. The Dutch glamour model became known in 2004 after she claimed to have had an affair with Beckham. When Victoria and the couple's children were living in the UK while David was in Spain with his soccer team, Real Madrid, he had an affair with Rebecca Loos, who was his personal assistant at the time. It stunned the world when his alleged relationship with Rebecca was revealed in the now-defunct News of the World newspaper. On seeing the rumors, Victoria Beckham admitted she quote-unquote resented her husband David. Speaking about the experience, Victoria confessed, "Did I resent David?"
If I'm being totally honest, yes, I did.
Victoria and their children, Brooklyn and Romeo, then relocated from the UK to be by David's side, where they bought a £3 million home, which she says she decorated herself. Here, the family found themselves under intense scrutiny, with Spanish media hounding them and fans intruding into their lives.
Up until Madrid, sometimes it felt like us against everybody else. But when we were in Spain, it didn't really feel like we had each other either.
David and Victoria had been for less than 5 years when Rebecca Loos came forward in April 2004 and claimed to have had an affair with the footballer. But Rebecca is not the only woman whom David was accused of being unfaithful with. Victoria wrote in her 2001 book, Learning to Fly, about rumors that David had kissed another woman while she was pregnant with their first child. On seeing the news, Victoria walked up to David and punched him, even though she hadn't punched anyone before. Again, in 2004, Sarah Marbeck alleged the two had shared explicit text messages for 2 years and had slept together. David later denied affair allegation. At the time of the events, Victoria had decided to remain in the UK so that her young sons, Brooklyn and Romeo, could stay in their schools. But the situation didn't help David either. He told how he feared playing football, while his wife struggled to find a way through their crisis. The decision left David lonely, and he admits that he struggled. He said,
"When I first moved to Spain, it was difficult because I'd been part of a club and a family for my whole career. I get sold overnight. The next minute I am in a city, don't speak the language. More importantly, I didn't have my family."
In a searingly honest interview, Victoria appeared to fight back tears as she was asked if it was the hardest time in their marriage.
It was probably, if I'm being honest, the most unhappy I have ever been in my entire life.
Victoria described their time in Madrid as a nightmare and an absolute circus. The show then cut to footage of the famous pair driving through Spain with their distressed son Brooklyn, who was crying as overzealous fans pounded on the window of their car.
It's alright, Buster, they can't get in the car.
Victoria soothed him by saying, "It's all right. Mummy's got you." She later went on to have the couple's third son cruise in the Spanish capital. Victoria, in the doc, recalls another time when the couple's high public profile caused friction in their personal lives. She spoke about being in labor with their third son cruise in 2005, and David being away at a photo shoot.
You've got a damn photo shoot with Jennifer Lopez, who is gorgeous and not about to have a baby.
So I had my C-section, and I remember lying there. I don't feel at my most gorgeous, let's just say. And I remember someone showing me the front page of the newspaper, which was a gorgeous picture of David between Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce, and the headline was, "What would Posh say?"
Let me tell you what Posh would say. Posh was pissed off.
The designer admitted that was always perceived as the villain by Spanish football fans because she didn't move there with David right away, insisting that she only delayed it until she could find suitable schools for their sons, Brooklyn and Romeo. Victoria also admitted that Spanish fans were not warm to her, particularly after she was reported saying that she didn't like Spain because it smelled like garlic. David was also suffering as a result. His display on the pitch came under scrutiny, and Real Madrid lost 4 games in a row for the first time. He admitted he still doesn't know how they got through the 2003 crisis, but he and his former Spice Girls wife knew they had to fight for their family and said they felt like they were drowning when their high-profile marriage was in the headlines for months. There were some horrible stories which were difficult to deal with.
It was the first time that me and Victoria had been put under that kind of pressure in our marriage.
Beckham also revealed about suffering from clinical depression after he was single-handedly blamed for England's loss in a crucial match against Argentina during the 1998 Football World Cup. The doc-series on Beckham's past life has now awoken other sleeping problems. Rebecca Loos has been the victim of online attacks because of it. Loos had worked as David's personal assistant, claimed that she had 4 sexual encounters with David between September and December of that year, and she had still been texting him in the months that followed. Following the scandal, Rebecca has since relocated to the Norwegian mountains away from the limelight. David denied the allegations at the time, and now Rebecca is unsure whether or not she should speak out. One person wrote in her Instagram comments, "Hope you're okay in light of everything, sweetheart, and sincerely hope everyone is kind to you these days." Rebecca responded with a simple love heart emoji and said, "Thank you. I'm taking in the nasty comments with as much humor as I can." The following day, the former PA revealed she had been teaching yoga in her native Sweden as she shared a snap from her relaxing retreat. Rebecca reposted a snap taken by her friend at the class, who had shared yoga between the peaks with wonderful Rebecca Loos official. Sharing a video of the snow outside, she wrote, "Hello winter, early as usual. Well, it's a good thing that everyone has found what makes them happy." And at the moment, David and Victoria could not be happier. The couple is no stranger to the spotlight, with David being arguably the most famous soccer player ever, and Victoria being both a former singer with the Spice Girls and a fashion designer. David and Victoria met at a soccer game in 1997 after he had spotted the former Spice Girl on TV. The two wed in 1999 and had 4 children together: Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper. The couple shared a photo celebrating the release of Beckham on their Instagram accounts. David captioned the snapshot of him attempting to dance with her, "Still making her laugh with my dancing 26 years on." In the documentary, David praised his wife for putting up with his career selfishness. Victoria also opened up about how happy she was when her husband wound up playing for Major League Soccer's Los Angeles Galaxy in 2007. Victoria said she loved their time in LA, while Bex admitted he struggled to cope with the standard of football at the MLS side. Victoria and David are now closing in on 25 years of marriage and have reached a point where they have found their version of bliss. If you want to watch more Hollywood news videos, then subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to like and comment.